Hi and welcome back. Today's date is August 6th, 2024. I am your host, Kyle. Let me get you caught up to date on financial news for today. Jumping right into it, indexes, the S&P 500 was trading pretty well this morning, and then about noon, lunchtime, it rolled over and undid almost the entire move for the day. So it is now trading around 5,215 in after hours, and I'm a little bit concerned it might be on its way back down to make another low. We will have to see and just be patient here. I think it's too soon to call it, being that the low that we had was kind of on top of some other drastic events that were happening elsewhere in the world. So that's also to be determined if that's as bad as that is going to be over in Japan's markets. They seem to be doing much better today after such a move to the downside. That doesn't mean that there isn't still panic and uncertainty and that participants may not continue to keep selling. So will we be headed for a new low here in the next coming days or coming week? It's too soon to tell. We will just have to take that day by day. As much as I hope that the market starts to turn around here and rally back upwards, that may not be the case. I still am bullish though. I still have a all-time high is coming soon, a bias, I suppose. Fundamentally, I think the conditions are not there for strong reasoning to justify selling this much. I think we're overreacting to some of the recent economic news that has been coming out related to unemployment and trying to get the Federal Reserve to make the decision of whether or not they're going to lower rates after all in this upcoming meeting or not. But so all that aside, indexes are still having a hard time. I hope they turn around here soon. If they do move lower, be ready to pounce on some opportunities. There is countless opportunities out there with individual stocks, especially in the tech sector, just left and right. There is a lot of big name companies down over 50, 60, almost 70% from their all-time highs. So lots of opportunity out there if you are able to take advantage of it. SMCI, SuperMicro, ticker SMCI, announced a 10-for-1 stock split. It will take place on October 1st, and they reported their earnings after hours today. They missed on estimates for their last quarter, and they lowered estimates for the rest of the year. So as you can imagine, Wall Street did not react very positively to that. But they are raising their guidance for 2025, and they're calculating between 74 to 101% growth. They're seeing some constraints in getting particular components. Executives told analysts that they would have some more products if they had the supply of parts available. So they are just being shorted on parts to be able to make their merchandise and their products to begin with. This is a part of their reasoning as to why their long-term margins are also set to benefit so much. They're expecting that supply chain issue to be resolved, so I suppose in the next quarter or two, and then as a result, their 2025 profits should be much stronger than they're currently reading. And also the estimates for those 2025 profits are now, at least the analyst estimates, I would think are going to be revised downward a little bit based on their recent data. And so potentially they will go on to outperform those expectations as well. The reaction to all of this post-market was a little bit mixed. The news of the stock split seemed to provide a pretty strong move upward. But then as the future outlook was kind of broken down and digested, it caused quite the slide, and the stock is now down over 12% just in the after hours action alone. Now, not terribly surprising, but Dell and HP are also down in the after hours following suit. Both of these companies rely on SuperMicro for some of their components, be it specialized motherboards or individual parts and add-ons. So I can see why Wall Street is maybe now wanting to account for those companies also not having great earnings as well. If SuperMicro can't get the parts that they need to sell their product to HP and Dell, then potentially, as will those companies, have problems selling certain high-value products of their own. HP reports their earnings on August 22nd and Dell on August 29th. Maybe HP will be the next tell if that truly is the case. Now, tech is one of our best performing sectors. Tech has been carrying our markets for quite some time now. We had the dot-com bubble, and then we went right into kind of the digital internet revolution and smartphones and tablets and wearables, you name it. Technology is definitely driving our day-to-day, and we're even seeing it in automobiles more and more. You know, some people will argue that Tesla is not a car company, they're a tech company with all the data that they take in and automated driving and all the electronic little add-ons and upgrades that you can purchase for your vehicle and whatnot. AI might be one of those new up-and-coming categories, but will it necessarily be that we're seeing replacements of these big current mega cap companies by brand new, never heard of AI companies? You know, will OpenAI looking at having that as a major holding in our portfolios, or will we just expect these companies to get bought out by other current big conglomerates such as Microsoft, who is already a known major investor in OpenAI? I want to say around 49% or so ownership already as it stands. Or maybe it will be Google buying companies or Amazon buying companies. They have so much disposable, even Apple, of course, so much disposable money as it is. Is it just going to continue to be kind of the 4 or 5? And now we have the Magnificent Seven, of course, you know, with Nvidia being in there. That's hard to tell too. I mean, certainly they have that power to be able to purchase companies at just ridiculous valuations and make a lot of people a lot of money in the process. But sometimes you have companies that are just refusing to sell, and they're going to want to be in it for the long haul, and it's hard to make that determination early on whether or not that company is actually going to be valuable later on down the road. Look at AMD, look at Nvidia is another great example. Two companies that have been around for a very long time that were, for the longest time, pretty much ignored. I remember buying AMD stock at $3 a share, and just because it was performing so lackluster to even Intel at the time, I think I sold it for maybe pennies of gain and would rather have held my investment in Intel. But lo and behold, over the long run, that maybe wasn't the greatest investment decision. Sure, they both make money and provide a return in some way. How do you tell? How do you make that calculation early on? And so index funds can certainly be a good way to mitigate that risk. So without rambling on too much about this, I think really what I'm finding myself asking internally, asking myself today is AI the next big thing? I think personally, if you had asked me 5 years ago, I would have told you I think it's going to be 3D printing, drone companies, maybe resources for nuclear power generation, and that type of technology, maybe some biopharmaceutical stuff. But I didn't foresee any of the chat GPT coming out, or some of the AI compute that Nvidia is doing and their unique chips that they're coming out with. So it's extremely hard to tell. I don't think AI is quite all it is hyped up to be just yet. I don't think the chat GPTs of the world or the specialized AI chips necessarily have a fully utilized purpose yet in our society. So maybe that will all change in the very quick near future. We will just have to continue to be patient there. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I will have another update post market close tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Your support means everything to me, and I will see you in the next one.